This is Brian Plunkett. This is for web journal number three, ISTE 3, Excellence in Professional Practice. When I looked through, there are four different components to this, and I'll discuss each one individually. But when I initially looked at this, I like to organize things mentally. I would say I immediately organized this into the technology portion and then the adult learning portion because those are really the two components we're looking at. So I'm going to start with the adult learning component, and then I'll talk a little bit about the technology and how that's integrated into that. But through this program, one of the nice things was we had the opportunity to really research adult learning practices. And I feel like, one of the big things with adult learning that I've learned is giving teachers autonomy to figure things out themselves. And so really what you want to do is you want to provide time for them and a platform for them to meet within the confinements of the school day to really be able to push new lessons, new ideas, converse, create relationships, et cetera, et cetera. I think it's not the same as it is teaching young children, obviously, where they need a lot more direction. I think with teachers, there needs to be a lot more autonomy, and I feel like we've done a good job of that. At our school, we have meetings every Wednesday for an hour, and those meetings vary in nature and in setting. So once a month, departments just get to meet just with the departments. And we have to submit, accountability pieces, so we're not just sitting there having a party. But I think that that's a really important one, and one that my departments utilize to implement all sorts of new digital technology, whether it is, lessons on the Chromebooks, different types of activities you can do with the smartboard. We've moved our tests to digital, so it mirrors kind of more of the SBAC and those types of things. So I think that's the first component of this is really understanding how adult learning works, giving them a platform, giving them expectations, explaining why this is important, giving them the data, and then allowing them to kind of facilitate their own learning. And again, I think at our all staff trainings that we have, we've done that as well, where we, the presenters, which I presented a few times now, you present and then you give a lot of autonomy for them to do things with whatever information you've given with them, really to work with it and mold it into their own. So that's kind of the professional development side. And I think, we have allocated time, we have allocated resources. We do facilitate and participate in like learning communities. Again, all of the different staff meetings, we do it by grade level. We do it by department. We do it as a whole staff. So I think we're doing that in a really good job. Effective communication. We have norms for communications within meetings, but there's also we send out surveys all the time using Google surveys. We have all sorts of different Google Classrooms for just specific things, just PBIS or just Google Classroom or those types of things. So I think we do a really good job of that. The educational research, I can't remember the last time I went to a meeting at my school site and it didn't start with data. I mean, that really has become I think it's become the standard in education, and maybe I'm spoiled to it, but in our specific school site, that's what everything starts with is data. And at the end, the surveys or whatever we do are sent out to collect data, and I think that's just become a part of the culture within my school site. So I feel like we've done a great job of that. If you look through my school growth plan, all of my areas of need follow that same procedure where we looked at data, we found what the data was saying, we created a plan. Most of that plan included some type of professional development. For some of those, I've created specific professional developments that are like flipped professional development, so it's even more autonomous. But from the technology side, the technology side's a little bit more difficult in that first of all, you have to have the technology and you have to pay for that. We've done a good job of that at our school site. We're up to 8 or 10 Chrome cards. So we basically have laptops available on any given day now. You don't have to wait pretty much to use it. We have smartboard technology, document camera technology, microphone technology. All of that's in the classroom every day, and our student response system technology. So I would say we do a good job. When I survey teachers, 90% of teachers were using technology on a daily basis. So I think we're doing a good job of that. I think for me, one of the things when I was really like looking through the data for stuff is it's hard to find what technological lessons are the best because it's specific to subject, content, all of these different things. So the number one study that I found that was of use was this idea of using technology to create transformative lessons. And I think that that has been the biggest thing that I've tried to push to my colleagues is we have to use technology in a way that is unique. We have to use technology in a way that presents students a unique learning experience that is outside of the realm of not having technology. And I think that we've done a good job of creating, public forums, Google Classrooms, not public forums, but student forums where they can communicate with each other through that. Certain types of projects we've done, video, visual, those types of things where you can't really replicate that without technology. And I see how using technology in a transformative way, I can see how that relates to like more complex or adding depth to their technological skills, the students that are involved in it. And so by doing that, you're really building their repertoire of their kind of their technological literacy, I guess I would almost call it. And I think that we're doing a really good job of that. And I think really honestly, our school has met all of these. And if you look at my school growth plan, which, I talked with my administrator a lot about, the things that I wrote all follow these the different parameters set forth here. So, technology is being used. It's being used outside of the classroom. It's being used inside the classroom. It's being used in our trainings. It's being discussed. Data is being presented on it. Data is being accumulated after the fact. So I really feel like, I've achieved this in terms of like, writing my school growth plan and in the ways that I can control it as a teacher. Obviously, I don't have as much control as an administrator would, but when I've run trainings, I've used technology, I've sent out surveys, I've done all of these things. So I feel like our school's doing this, I feel like our district's doing this, and I certainly feel like I've tried my best to also promote these standards because I've seen the data and I understand why it's important to use technology, especially in a transformative way for students. So thank you very much.